Well, it's official. It's either the greatest or the dumbest mistake I've ever made. The idea of a fresh start has never been more appealing than it is right now. So what are you to do in a scenario where you kind of need a fresh start? Well, hopefully in this series I can point you guys in the right direction with regard to this. Yep, that's me. That was about, I don't know, a month or so ago. Looking good. On the road to Milwaukee. That's not really. We're officially a quarter of the way. I made a decision super last minute, and that ended up biting me in the ass. 1,000 miles on stock ball joints probably wasn't a great idea. I left a lot behind in order to move here. I gained a lot by moving here. Hey, you! Holy shit, this IKEA mattress attained. Rooftop bar. Let's go buy some weed! It's officially like 7 o'clock. Day one. Let's get it. Okay, so day one, not being employed, but things are gonna be good. Here's what we're looking at as far as what's going on, where, and why. My contract with ARM ended on Friday, so yesterday. Now, I was also proactive, and I've been applying for jobs for the last month or so. I don't have anything concrete, except for Milwaukee. I got offered a full-time job with Microsoft as a lab engineer in Milwaukee. Here's the thing, I don't want to set myself up for failure. I don't want to move out to Milwaukee and lose my job. So there's just a lot of stuff in the air. On top of all of that, Microsoft has offered me a $3,000 signing bonus to start on the 22nd. So here's where I'm at. I am supposed to have a second round of interviews with Apple. If that doesn't happen, I'm gonna start planning to move to Milwaukee. And we're gonna see what happens. So come with me while I try to figure my fucking life out. You know, if I had to pinpoint a very specific day and time when I knew I was probably going to be moving to Milwaukee, it would be during this car ride right here. And it was even more emboldened by the phone calls and text messages I made with friends and family in the Midwest later that day. I didn't know it yet, but I was absolutely about to be traveling from Austin, Texas, all the way up to Michigan and then to Milwaukee just so I could see people, get my bearings straight, and start working in a place that I actually felt more comfortable. Unfortunately, I don't have a lot of footage of the actual process of boxing everything up and getting on the road. And that's mostly because I wasn't really responsible with how I went about this. I made a decision super last minute, and that ended up biting me in the ass, as well as a few of my friends back in Austin. I left a lot of stuff there under the pretense of me moving back to Austin eventually, and that might happen still. But if I could do it over again, there are definitely things I would have changed. I would have stuck with this plan from the get-go and really tried to prepare as much as I could. Let's get to day one on the road. Welcome back to day one on the road to Milwaukee. And well, the car is pretty filthy. So on top of not having windshield wipers, seeing has been a little bit bothersome in the rain. So we're gonna do our best to go ahead and fix that now, as well as cleaning some of the grimier panels. I'm not sure how well you can see that, but you might notice the little lines here. They actually form a Honda logo on the hood. Ideally, I wouldn't have painted the hood at all, but here we are. Because I've just had more body work done and the windshield replaced, it can't go through the car wash for the next 3 days. And coincidentally, it's gonna take me about that long to get to Milwaukee. So here we are. A bottle of Rain-X and some microfibers I can get from Walmart is gonna have to do. Just then, as I started cleaning up my car, I saw only in Houston. Look at this shit. How long you had her, man?
Since like July. I did the lift and everything on it.
Uh-huh.
Since suspension lift to put the wheels and shit on it. I did strut extensions.
Strut extensions?
Yeah.
So just like an oversized strut on the car itself?
Yeah, I cut my struts and
Oh,
and
so
I got extended struts.
you didn't have to cut the wheel arches at all in order to make it fit, or?
I had
No?
cut this shit.
Oh, the plastic bumper and that's it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been in Austin for about 6 years now. So I see these things around, but I never got to talk to anybody about it.
I got two 18s in the trunk.
Yeah, I heard them. I appreciate it, man.
Oh yeah, no problem.
It's not really clean by any means, both the car and honestly the paintwork. I think if I had to do it again, I would have stopped here on this line and not really gone down. But honestly, the custom little line work in here isn't too bad, and I do think it adds a lot of uniqueness to the car's look. Eventually, I would like to strip it all down and re-clear coat the hood though, but we're not quite there yet. Everything is packed away pretty neatly. Carly is surprisingly okay for the drive. I really wish I would have been able to replace my steering rack before we went out on this trip, but I wasn't able to, so I am trying to be as careful as I can. We are still on the first day of this trip, and I want to make sure that I get to my new place in one piece. So let me check the oil level and top that off if I need to, and then we can hit the road. At this point in the drive, as you can probably see in the footage here, the shaking was getting pretty bad in my front suspension. Now, mind you, I was 4.5 hours north of any garage that I knew of in Austin, and I knew none of them were going to be able to get this thing repaired within a timely manner. And I needed to make it to Michigan by Friday. So in order to keep things on track, I kept driving, much to my dismay and to my nervousness throughout the drive, dealing with the shakes. And before you knew it, we were a quarter of the way done with the drive. We're officially a quarter of the way done. I was gonna try to stop at like state signs and stuff, but it's cold, and I'm not gonna lie, it's been raining the entire drive. Harley is taking things relatively well. She's been climbing on my lap and looking out the window. She's been curious, but once we actually get on the interstate, she's been fine for the most part. Everything seems to be going according to plan. I decided not to stop. Only got about 4 hours left. Hopefully nothing happens, do anything, and I can get to Michigan before the end of the night. Check in later. How you doing, Carly? Huh? We're officially in Illinois. Like I said before, it has just not stopped raining. Only a few hours left. I'll see you guys in Michigan. I'm actually going to be so honest with you. The majority of that drive was a blur. I was running off of caffeine, drove for 22 to 23 hours straight with no sleep. I just needed to get my things and everything up to Michigan so I could go lay down and take a nap. That was my primary focus. And just like that, we were in Michigan. Welcome to Michigan. Still got an hour to go. Let's get to it. Honestly, I don't think I would have had it any other way. I'm glad I didn't stop and pay for motels and stuff. The drive wasn't that difficult. I was just really nervous most of the drive, but you know what? It was worth it. Good morning, ladies and gentle socks. I am now in town. I am in, yeah. And it would be just my luck that after pushing myself this hard for this long, a double whammy of consequences would hit me at the exact same time. So, as it turns out, if you push yourself and you drive for 2 days straight and don't rest, you might get a little sick, you might have a little vertigo the next morning. And when you do that with some iffy steering components, things break. And as soon as I got off the interstate and pulled into my friend's parking lot, my lower ball joint fell out of my lower control arm. So I had to fix that in her parking lot. Oh, the life of a car enthusiast. Putting 1,000 miles on stock ball joints probably wasn't a great idea. So we're replacing those. Entire knuckle is out. I probably need a new steering rack as well, but I'll update you guys when it's all put together. Probably heading out within the next couple days, so wish me luck. At this point, I really need to state how just grateful I am for all of the people that were able to stop by and say hello when I was in Michigan. It made the extra 6 hours that I added onto my drive worth it. So after spending a couple days in Michigan, getting to see people that I hadn't seen in ages, eating some good food, I finally got back on the road. And within a day, I drove all the way through Illinois into Wisconsin. I finally made it to Milwaukee. At that point, I had things to do, you know? I had the opportunity to move into this house, and I wasn't gonna turn that down. But you saw the interior of my car. I had no furniture. So the first thing that I did was I went to Target and IKEA. Holy shit, this IKEA is fucking massive. I'm not sure if the camera's quite doing it justice, guys. This thing is, it makes Austin's IKEA look like a fucking Walmart. Let's go buy a mattress! Mattress attained. Time to go to Target and buy other shit. And then I spent 2 days decorating my new home. We'll close out the video with a tour of the new apartment, and just to thank you so much for making it to this point in the video. You guys caring enough to watch this shit means the world to me. Love you guys. Get to that tour. This is the door that I used primarily because my car is parked right out there. Leads directly into the kitchen, which is very nice. Like a lot nicer than I thought it would be. The appliances are all brand new. The countertops, the kitchen, from the flooring to the cupboards and everything, is all like been replaced. I'm the first one to move in and use this shit, so it's been really nice. Same thing goes with the carpeting throughout the entire house. My favorite part by far about this kitchen though is my matcha stuff. I've found a lot of just good positive vibes and yummy breakfast comes from making matcha at home, and this I would say gets more use than even my bar, and that's when I have people over. I find people just kind of think this is pretty neat, and I get it. It's not only pretty cool to see it all come together, it's really tasty. So really happy I got into that. Moving right along, we've got the big living room. There are no lights in here, so I'll need to get lamps. But as far as decorations go, I'm really proud of how this came together. If I do ever end up having a TV, it'll probably be on this wall. So we've got the right amount of space for that. I want there to be some bookshelves over here and seating, preferably like on the ground with a really low coffee table and some cushions, some tatami mats, something like that would be super nice. But I'm just really kind of proud of how this wall came out, as well as the hallway. We've got art all over here. This is autographed stuff from my favorite online comedians, Bold and Brash, Azu. And this poster is covering the fuse panel, which I thought was pretty cool. This is my room. It's a mess. We don't got to go in there, but this closet's going to be specifically used for car shit. Still got to get that stuff out of my car, but there you go. Here's the first bathroom. It's where the cat stuff is at. I antiqued this because antiquing is a huge thing in Milwaukee, which is really neat. All throughout the house, I'm pretty happy with how the decorations turned out. This is gonna be my office with some extra storage. This is an empty bedroom that I don't know what I'm doing with yet. And here is the main bathroom. I'm really, like I said, happy with how all of this is coming together when it comes to decorations and stuff. So there's the house, there's the tour. Thank you so much for joining me on this arduous journey to get all the way out to Milwaukee. I'm happy to be here making good money long term and trying to find some stability moving forward. So just really happy that I've been able to share this entire journey with you all, and please do stay tuned because I'm going to be uploading regularly. This video won't be released until I have another one in the bag anyway, so the hope is I can get something released on a weekly basis. That's the goal. Try to get things out on Mondays. If not, we'll have to wait and see. But once again, thank you so much for watching. Try to, hit all the buttons and everything because it would really help me out. I'm a lot smaller than you might think. And remember, stay tuned. Later.